And welcome to another episode of More Than Dice. I'm Gonzo.
I'm John.
I'm Kathy.
On today's episode, we are going to do nothing but hobby today. We've all got projects to work on. We're going to work on some cool stuff. I'm going to be testing out a few things. I just picked up the Army Painter wet palette. I'm going to test that out today. I got a couple of models to paint and a bunch of other things to do. John's got some projects he's going to be working on. Kathy's got some projects she's going to be working on. I believe you're going to be working on the Reaper miniature still? A Reaper miniature?
Oh, I don't know.
No, so,
I have a ton of stuff here.
no. You have a
I'll work
ton
on
of
a
stuff?
different Reaper. I'll work on a different Reaper mini.
Do you want to
Uh,
show the model that you're going to be working on stream? That cool model I painted or printed for you? You told me
the
you were
banana.
the banana. The banana. The banana.
Let's see, where did I put it? Here he is. I finally got some paint on that on Friday. On Friday's stream. Hold on, let me see if I can find something to put
Backdrop.
behind this thing. Little
Let me put you in front of the image.
see if I can. There's a delay, so like I don't know. This
There we
is my
go.
this is
Yes.
my banana. Playing a lute. He is a bard, Nana.
Got that fixed. Thanks,
It's a
Legionnaire.
musical.
He's a bard, Nana. And yeah, so last
He's
week
going to seduce all the ladies.
somebody said, "Hey, oh hey, Static Overdrive, yeah, the banana bard. He was there. He was there for that." Kathy has Echo, and it's on PC and mobile.
I got it fixed.
Okay.
I had one thing
Excellent.
unchecked. Had to fix
So
it.
yeah, Friday's stream, somebody said, "Hey, can you demonstrate that underpainting that you do? What you mean by underpainting?" And or he said, "Can you briefly explain it?" And I said, "I'll do better than that. I will demonstrate it."
Yay!
So
He's here.
hey, Captain Mizzy. So I spent an extra 45 minutes doing
Hey,
that.
hey, John.
Gunther said not to show you these.
Don't show her the puppies. Oh, oh, why? It's puppies. Everybody likes puppies.
See, she's gonna try to find them. See. So today, guys, we are just going to be doing a bunch of hobby stuff today. No real big subject. We're just going to be having a lot of fun, getting stuff done, talking about other things. I'm going to show some stuff off. But before we get started, Kathy, what you drinking today?
I'm drinking rum and coke.
Still working on the rum and coke.
I also have a nice hot tea.
Is it a hot toddy?
Tea.
Oh,
Tea.
Gunther, someone would have to be crazy to follow up alcohol with more alcohol like that.
But I have a
John.
question real quick.
What's your question?
My question is directed at Russ because he says he got a big block of Sculpey and I wanted to know what kind of Sculpey it is. Okay, now John, you can go.
Okay. My main drink is going to be this slightly aggressive cherry coke mixed with Jim Beam Red Stag and just a little bit of grenadine to punch it up a little bit. I just may have put a tiny bit too much alcohol in it. We'll see. And then my backup, which is what I was drinking before the cast, is not quite done. It's Fireball and Dr. Pepper.
I am sporting the very harsh and extremely powerful H2O tonight.
Oh, shit. Don't fuck with H2O. Like
uh,
Wu-Tang.
yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you got medication.
And sinus infection and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's no fun.
So that'll be my drink of choice today. John, do we have any tributes this week?
I mean, there's the big one.
There is the big one. This week, Ruth Bader passed away. She was, 86 years old?
87 and fighting cancer for the last several years.
Yep. She did a lot for our country. I actually went back and looked and see what, she championed and everything. And I was like, what? Really?
Yeah.
What? Really? I was like someone had posted some of her things that she had done, like letting women get their own credit. buy their own house, and it still flabbergasts me that that's something that people had to fight for, type thing.
It flabbergasted me, but it really shouldn't, based on what's come to light recently. But that's a topic for a totally different podcast.
But still, I mean, she did a lot of good and championed a lot of things. She put up a good fight. So, guys, also, please look after each other out there. We want to, there is that too. Please check on everybody. Please look after everybody. Please, just make a quick phone call, quick text to somebody you haven't heard in a while. Say, hey, just checking on you, buddy. Haven't heard from you a bit. You doing okay?
And make sure they know that they can count on you for help, because, I mean, we might need it. I got a buddy who's going through a tough time. He doesn't say he needed any help, but, I checked on him, make sure he's okay.
Yep.
And he's getting better, so that's what it is. But I let him know if he needs anything at all. If there's anything he thinks they can help with.
Please check on everybody. From all of us to everybody that listens and any type of options that we have, we appreciate you. We thank you a lot. And cheers.
Cheers.
Man.
You're going a little extra on that water.
Hey, Parm.
Hey, Parm. We also want to thank all of our sponsors, guys. We want to thank Metalhead Minis for hosting a lot of stuff. I need to get that link up so people can start buying some things that can help us out. Also, the stuff from Warfare Weekend. TikTok and Crest Studios. I want to thank Dan for providing us some stuff for giveaways and doing some really cool stuff. Muson Minis, of course, for hosting all of our files and helping push it out to everybody. We really appreciate it. Being a creature creator, we really like their models. If you really want to see some cool stuff, go check them out. And who am I missing? Anybody? No, I think that was it. Yay! Got away really quick. Before we get started, this week I took the plunge and started doing some Patreons. I was a member of 2 Patreons this week. What are they called? Which ones? Artisans Guild and Titan Forge Miniatures.
I like both of those.
Yeah. I was looking for one I could try and test out. $10 a month isn't that bad, and they give you quite a few models. It isn't like here's one model for $10. And so they got a bunch of stuff, and so I was like, okay, I'll try them out at least for this month and maybe next month because I like what's coming out. And so I got a bunch of models and started printing like crazy. So I'm gonna go over here to my paint cam because I printed one up. One, because I'm playing a new D&D campaign, and I'm not running. I get to play. And so...
Hello, fellow players.
Hello, fellow
Hello,
players.
fellow players.
And so I'm going to be painting up, or I shouldn't say I'm painting up. I went and printed up a model. Let me see if I can... a monk. And this monk stands on this rock fist that's coming out of the ground. And so I'm playing a monk in the game, and it kind of like, goes like this, and you stand him on it, so on and so forth. And I was like, that's a cool model, but this is kind of tiny. And I was like, oh, it still looks neat, still good print and everything, but I was like, I can do better. So I printed him bigger.
Bigger.
And so now I got this really cool monk. And this is actually going to a friend of mine, and she said if I send her some models, she'll paint up a model for me. And so I'm giving this to her to paint up. I don't know if I'm going to charge a little extra because it's, of course, bigger than this, but I'm giving her quite a few models. So I did a bunch of printing, and I printed up a couple of things. I got one thing printing right now. It's a bust of a Mind Flayer. But I found 2 things that I definitely had to get for Kathy. One, because this one's called a Plague Mancer.
Plague Mancer, that sounds interesting.
And I got to put it kind of together. But it's a Cobalt Plague Mancer.
Cobalt? It's a cobalt?
Yep. Can you see him?
Oh, cool.
And so I was going to send that to you because I was like,
is that the Artisan Guild one?
I believe it's Artisan Guild. I can't remember. You have to can't remember which one's which. I did a lot of working with models and redoing my printer and stuff. But the other thing I saw, and I was like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, ooh, I gotta do this. So I got this cool little base. It's kind of like a little swampy base. And then there's a troll that goes on it. And it's not your typical troll, but it is definitely a Kathy troll. And it's a troll wielding a guitar.
No, sorry, but that troll's wielding an axe.
He is. He's a bard.
So, and I got this little base. So I was like, this is going to be going for my friend Kathy. Because as soon as I saw this, I was like, yeah.
And you know that that axe has to have some kind of candy coat, like fade something, like some 1980s,
Like they painted the wood, but it's like faded now.
Yeah.
But
That's legit.
this was, I saw this and I immediately said I had to print this for you, Kathy, and get it to you because this has just came out like super, super cool and came out really well. And I was like,
Hey,
so.
Dragon Eye.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, they had one that was a drummer and one that was playing something else. But then I saw the guitarist and I was like, yep, that's
awesome.
what's going to go to Kathy. So, got a friend of mine that wants to do, she wanted some printed models because she wanted to know about different printers and such. So I was like, okay. And so I got a bunch of stuff printed up for her and everything. So I'll be sending those off. And then I got the Army Painter wet palette. So I got this thing already set up. Cool little thing about it, has a little brush holder already on the top of it. Ooh. And then...
Oh, about that. That could end poorly. Oh, actually, it's on the top? Okay, that's
yes. That's what I'm saying. It's got a second lid. And then it's got the wet palette there. So we're going to try this out today while I'm painting on stuff today. And see how this works. It's cold water. The one thing I do have to say about it is the little foamy thing underneath it doesn't cover the entire bottom. As you can see, like right here, it's got a little bit of opening on it.
Does that bother you?
A little, but it's something you can work around. You know what I'm saying? Because the top piece, the top little parchment, covers the whole thing, but the little foamy thing doesn't cover the whole thing, which I thought was a little different. But you do get...
I see. But you could trim the parchment, right?
Yeah,
if
you
you
can.
wanted to, so
Yeah.
that it fits the foamy.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't have to
thing.
worry about it. I mean, you do get 2 sets of foam and quite a few sheets, by the way. So I was like, I can deal with it. I'm not going to argue with it too much. But I'm working on a bunch of stuff printing from Artisan Guild and Titan Forge. So as soon as some other stuff gets printed, I'll be sending out a bunch of things to a bunch of people, including
Yay.
John. So I am working on...
The Legionnaire says you need to push the sponge towards the edge.
I did try to stretch it. This one just didn't want to stretch as much because I tried to like flatten it out and try to do that, and it didn't
'cause
come out of the way.
It's foam,
Yeah.
right?
It bounced back.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like I said, it's not a big deal. I just need to know, you don't put any paint over on that edge, type thing. So don't have to worry about it too much. But I found a bunch of cool little things to print. Like I says, right now I'm printing up a Mind Flare bust, and I'll probably be giving that away to somebody else because I care not really for it, but that's okay. And then I'm printing up some Necron stuff pretty soon. I got this Necron thing I saw.
Necron stuff, like bases and stuff, or
Well, it's a model I saw that's Necron inspired. I guess best way to put it. And so I was going to print that up next. So I got to work that out.
Lighter than a little bit today.
And then I almost got this done to where I like it. I think I finally got this paint scheme down that I like.
Do the sheets dry out on you, Legionnaire? They shouldn't in the palette. If so, then that's a problem.
Correct. That's something, and that's the reason why I'm trying to test this out too.
I'll tell
Let's
you
see.
one thing though. If there's a little space between the sponge and the edge, that's the perfect place to put water if you trim the paper to fit the sponge, then you've got a spot where you can take like I always have a bottle of water on the desk next to me to squirt a little bit into the edge around my sponge, obviously not onto the sponge, but to just to kind of get a little extra moisture in so that it will seep into the sponge if the sponge is getting dry, which causes the paper to dry. But I have a different wet palette than the Army Painter one, so
That's do I, but I also keep a bottle of water around for once in a while. You might need some fresh water.
So, okay.
Hate
So,
to fix up spots on a base because it always is hard to match what you got already.
so we're working on Wakasta.
OCD people who hate the gap. Mind the gap.
And again,
Let's see. I got a little bit of water pulling up on it over here.
I have so much gap because my sponges aren't the sponge that came with my Masterson's wet palette. I just cut pieces of chamois to fit it, and then when that chamois wears out, I cut another one. So it's always smaller. And then I just use palette paper and I cut that to fit the chamois.
The ShamWow.
It is just like the ShamWow. It's exactly like the ShamWow. And then I just keep putting a little water in, a little water. But then I usually am changing my palette paper and thus rinsing out that sponge and washing out the wet palette every week.
which is a lot more than most people.
Not like some people who just leave shit on their wet palette for a month and then wonder why it gets moldy.
What?
I am right here.
Like,
You do not need to
like,
call me out.
do you not know how mold works?
Well, actually, I don't know who that's really directed at, and you can bring that up again on Wednesday because that's pretty much who that's really directed at.
That's pretty much anybody's like yeah, the moldy smell, whatever. Mine never has a moldy smell, you guys.
Well, you got
Ever.
a holy spell. Maybe you should be cleaning that shit out a little bit more often.
Yes. Because mom's
I
not here to do it for you.
This is really awkward when my nose has a sore spot on it. Twice as easy to get to the sore spot.
Oh wow, there's flowers on the cover of this book. Oh, it's not a flower. It's the symbol of, I don't know, his holy order. It's the same symbol that's on his shoulder pads. And I did not realize that. I'm going to have to repeat this symbol on his robe in freehand.
Good luck.
I have painted this model once years and years ago. It's a this is a Reaper model, and I know you can't see it. It's a cleric, some kind of cleric,
So, Clark.
but it's so cool. He's got this tabard and this breastplate and this hammer, and but he's got this other robe that goes over it in his holy book, and it's just a really fun model. The details are really cool. I think it might be Werner Klock, but as the sculptor, but I'm not 100% on that. I'm just guessing.
It's a little harder with the guy sculpts rather than the female sculpts. Female sculpts, I'll be like, Sandra Garrity.
Yeah.
It's being right. I'll point out that is also my ex-wife's favorite sculptor, which is cool. She really liked her work.
I love I love Sandra Garrity.
Yeah.
I love Werner Klock's faces. The eyes on his are so easy to paint. It's a little more cartoony, but that actually makes it easier to paint. So
Yeah, a little exaggerated eyes are always a little bit easier to paint. And this is the extra bonus of like chibi style models.
yeah,
Like,
That's the extreme.
I can paint the eyes on those. Let's see. That's not perfect.
Holy Jared has a ceiling fan blowing on him, drying everything out. Yeah,
Oh
the
yeah.
ceiling, even in the middle of summer, the ceiling fan in this room never gets turned on because of that.
Yup.
Like, nope.
Been there,
He
done that.
progresses. My wet palette is never the same twice as the humidity is constantly changing here. It's, yeah,
That happens to a lot of people, unfortunately.
yeah.
My old apartment, prior to this podcast, our painting area was right where the heat comes in, so it was super duper. Everything dried up real quick. This is a little better in
They
the summer. This is a little rough, but not so much in the winter and fall.
He says I put copper pennies under the wet paper towels in my fancy plastic lid wet palette. As opposed to, I have heard that that helps with mold, but I don't know.
It does.
Uh,
I've
Putting
used it.
pennies, actual copper pennies, as opposed to the kind that don't have copper in them anymore. Um,
Well, like I say, putting pennies in there seemed to have worked in general. I did not really have any
I would
problem.
say
Oh,
just change I know you use paper towel, you don't even use a sponge, so throw out the paper towel every so often, you won't ever have mold. I rinse out my sponge every week. So, and when I do, I go ahead and use that same sponge to wipe out the entire bottom of my wet palette and then wring out my sponge, and that's that. I never have a problem with mold.
no, I
Yeah,
used the
the
penny method, and that actually kept mine fresh for very long periods of time between painting sometimes. So, can confirm, seems like it works.
John, what are you working on today, by the way?
The same thing that's been my hobby streak for, I don't know, a while.
Marvel.
For those of you not following, the last bits of Venom, just fix up his base so I can finally get him sealed and be done. And then my knight here, who's had some issues getting his arms on. And then two walls I got at like War Machine Weekend way long time ago that were sitting there and I needed something else to paint. I find you always, the way I paint, you always want something quick and dirty when you just need to get some extra painting in.
Quick
And
and
heck,
dirty.
walls are useful. Use them eventually.
Hearing Theo.
A little bit.
Yeah. He's wrestling with TJ right now.
I am going to need probably to get some new brushes here soon because some of my brushes are getting kind of long in the tooth and not very good. To the point where I'm noticing it.
Uh, sorry if I sniffle in your ears, guys. Trying not to.
Gonzo. Poor Gonzo.
Down with the sickness.
Does that count as a pun?
Down
I
with
mean,
the sickness now.
I don't think so.
Harm says clay through a pasta maker. That's an interesting idea. So at the craft store near us, they call it a clay extruder. But when you get it home, there's pasta maker instructions inside of it. So it's the same thing. Obviously, we never use that one to make pasta.
That is a good idea. I
I
would suggest heartily not using your hobby
I
tools
feel like
for anything food
yeah, I
related.
feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but
But
you
yeah,
know how people are.
Sort of like those people that lick brushes.
Uh-huh.
tasty
Some of
place.
my best friends are filthy brush lickers.
I mean, they're doing this podcast.
No.
Not surely not.
There
Not
aren't
anybody.
really.
Don't you judge me? I'm judging. I'm the one judging. Banyan.
Hold on. Man, you kind of have to paint before you can be a brush.
Wait, what are we judging Banyan about?
Everything.
That's maybe I'm mistaken in what he's saying here.
I thought he was talking about brush licking, but I mean, he don't actually paint, so he can't really brush lick. Just saying.
Just saying.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying?
Know what I'm saying? Know what I mean? Know what I
Maybe
mean?
he just likes the taste of the paint, even though he's not actually painting with it.
I mean, he likes to say the other shitty things, so that doesn't surprise me. I mean, what?
Ooh, sounds like shots fired.
Oof,
No shots fired. Just truth. Harsh, harsh truth.
harsh truth.
I mean, look, he likes to ruin dishes with shitty stuff like olives.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you heard me. I didn't stutter.
Did you just diss olives?
Um, oh yeah, straight up dished. Olives, not in everything. Jesus, like no.
I will take that room, Banyan. I love olives.
Y'all are so high. Olives suck.
Olives and certain things.
No, you
Yeah.
have that backwards. You suck olives to get the pimento out.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
That's what you do.
No. No.
No, no.
No.
They are good in some things, but they like a lot of things, like fucking avocado and guacamole. It's over fucking used.
Period.
Don't overuse it.
You're just wrong.
I think you're wrong,
I
Kathy.
actually
Olives are
think that
gross.
you're so wrong. You think I'm wrong. That's not wrong.
Olives and vermouth, I'd do that. We all know
Okay.
Gonzo is the weirdo. Olives are amazing. Thank you, Captain Mizzy. I like them. Yeah, the ones with pimentos. I love to suck the pimentos out of those. I like the Kalamata olives. Farms like we're about to start the antipasto war. It is Ford. Hey Ford. He is with Kathy on the olive front.
Hey, look, guac is fine in small amounts, but people use that shit way
Yeah.
too much, way too many things.
Guacamole.
That and avocado. When I see avocado, I see like whole slice of avocado and like a sandwich. Something like, y'all straight fucking nuts. You need to learn how to make some food here.
Once upon a time.
And I have a very wide and varied taste palette, so
And you didn't even experience my mom's avocado aspic. It was an unfortunate experiment in gelatin cooking, and the recipe probably came from the 1970s.
came from hell. That's what it sounds like.
Yes, precisely. It caused me to stay away from anything with avocados in it until I was in my mid 20s.
Well, I mean, there's a good side to everything. Staying from avocados, good.
But that's when I got my first taste of a guacamole that was handmade by somebody, and that's when I realized that avocados did not have to be horrible.
Yeah, that's a fair statement. Like I said, it's just people like to use certain things in way too big amounts, and then it becomes terrible.
Like cilantro.
Cilantro is not good in large amounts either.
Mm-mm.
Though I am so Gonzo. Here's the thing. So Kathy, you hate cilantro. Can
Mm-hmm.
I gather?
Yeah.
Okay. Gonzo, do you like cilantro?
No.
Okay. Weird because I was thinking because Banyan hates cilantro. I'm okay with cilantro, but don't want it in too much amounts. I was wondering if maybe that was the difference. Oh yeah, pumpkin spice everything is a bit too much. But that's overused too. It's anything becomes sort of a meme in foods.
I like pumpkin pie spice and pumpkin pie.
I
See.
like pumpkin spice in a small amount of things.
Nope.
Just not everything, and just not in the amounts they want.
Don't like pumpkin spice. Don't like pumpkin.
You don't like pumpkin?
Just
No.
disgusting.
Pumpkin is disgusting. I'll agree with you.
No, you.
Well, pie. Pumpkin pie is fucking legit.
My grandma made the best pumpkin pie.
So pumpkin
She,
pie generally requires Cool Whip on it.
oh,
Doesn't have, but
absolutely.
you
That's
should
agreed.
it. Oh, now the battle lines are being dropped. Pumpkin beer. Okay. So far, I don't like most beers. I can taste the bitterness and hoppiness in all beers for the most part. There are very few beers I drink, and I would not try pumpkin beer because that sounds like death. It's like Sweet Baby Jesus is supposed to be peanut butter and sort of porter, and I taste beeriness, almost no peanut butter at all in it. So uh, that's why I don't, because my taste buds are like that. That's why I drink mixed drinks and not beer. In my opinion, most of those beers. There's a couple beers that are good. A lot of German beers have some good parts. There's some I can drink.
What are the ones that don't have hops? I know there's some that don't have hops at all, right?
Oh, there.
I'm not a pro beer drinker, so I don't know, but I'm relying on someone in the chat to know more about it than I do.
I mean, I would just contact Rich Broutman for Beer Machine because
Yeah.
he's my beer guru,
Yep.
and we figured out sort of the thing. I mean, so there are beers I like. I like JW Dundee's Honey Brown. I like
Oh
Honey
yeah.
Brown.
Yeah, yeah. Honey Brown's good.
I actually Amstel Light is solid. It's perfectly drinkable. A lot of the beers I don't necessarily like are not. They're drinkable. I mean, as you get to the shit, Budweiser is shit. Uh, MGD is drinkable, I guess, but I'm not going to spend money on it.
I'm
Uh,
not going to waste my calories on something like that.
yeah,
That's
I mean, I've
how
had
I look at it. I'm like, I want something that is really going to please my palate,
yeah, and I
you
try some
know?
here and there, and sometimes they're good. I'm always willing to try a new thing and all. Let me see. I know we found one when I was, let's go to years because I have to go back a year before this one. What was the beer? There was a beer I got for John Con that was good. So actually, we went on a brewery tour and I actually drank a lot of beer on that. They did a lot of flights of beer, which is a good idea. Guinness is okay. Youngling
I
is
like
okay.
Guinness. I've never had Yuengling.
It's okay.
I've had a few younglings, and they're okay.
Yeah, they're fine. I don't have my list of beers anymore, but I had a bunch of beers and I liked quite a few of them. Good enough to try, but it's like, why am I going to try to find a beer that I like when I can make something I like as a mixed drink pretty easily?
Right? Yeah.
When I'm out with some guys, I might try something, or when the guys are suggesting, or if I'm in a weird mood and they got something there I might want to try, I'll give it a shot. I think that's sort of the point. Is you don't want to just say they're all terrible because they're not all. In fact, the
Yeah.
best beer I ever had, to my recollection, and this was a long time ago, was a German beer called Dinkelhacker. That was really good. We had it for a guy's birthday party. I have not had it since, and that was a very long time ago, I believe. Well, let's just say it was about 24 years ago since that put me 21. I may not have been, but let's just say I was 21. I don't really remember when it was, honestly. It was a while ago. All right. I don't know what kind of issue.
You notice how all of our podcasts usually revolve around beer or food or.
Mine often revolves around food and doesn't revolve around alcohol that much. I don't drink a ton, so.
But we always get into like food quite a bit.
Oh,
And
definitely. You know why? Because everybody eats.
We eat a lot.
it's common ground.
Everybody eats sometimes.
It should be like an REM song, like everybody cries.
Hmm.
Sorry, no puns right now, but I got all the pop culture references.
That's why I commented about it being hard for me to watch American streams. What? Oh, because of food? You missed my stream when the only people in it were from Northern Europe and they were all talking about eating fish. Like
Oh, fish. There's a
like
lot of fish that's good.
whole fish, like head first, herring, like head first, like you hold it by the tail and you just like stick it in your mouth and I'm like, no, hell no. No,
Um,
no.
I will respectfully pass.
Yes. I will hell know it, but with respect. You know, you whoever I'm with, you do you. But no, no thanks.
Yeah, it's not.
I will eat my herring pickled. I will eat it fried, but I will not eat it head first at the market and I I don't even know how it's prepared.
I for my fish beer battered with
Yes.
chips.
See.
'Cause-
It's
Though
real
honestly,
later here, Nora's opened.
I do like some smoked fish. The local barbecue joint does a smoked salmon that is very good on their menu. We actually it was one of their seasonal specials, and the whole everyone ate so much of it and asked for it so much every time they came out. They made it for one of their regular dishes, which is super cool. So it means I can have it whenever.
Whenever.
Farm Lake's your Thanos, Gonzo.
Oh, thanks.
Good job.
Did the contrast paint over a silver, so it kind of turned out pretty cool.
Well, I'm still using contrast paints mostly as like an Uber wash for things. So
Oh
I want
yeah.
it not to wash, but to kind of stain as well. Just like you would ink in the old days. It's just a little easier to work with than ink. Less worried about what do I mix with it to make it get into the cracks well.
You go change my water out. Be right back.
Kind of loud. You gotta stay. You gotta stay. He's not listening. I was painting up this wall here.
Change the water out. What are you doing over there?
I don't know. My
Well, the
water's
same
all
thing
messed.
I did the other day, but I had to power through my nasty ass rinse water that I forgot to do because I wasn't gonna leave.
Not in the middle of the stream. No, I do mine tend to be like beginning or end of a session a lot of times.
Of course, I'm just not by myself. I don't have other people to keep
to
going.
to vamp. Well, also I keep some fresh water always just in case. So like something I really need fresh water for, I can. Fresh
Yeah.
water.
This model
That's why Gonzo's a dick.
is
See,
so
look,
full of.
Oh,
look.
hi Gonzo. Poppy! Why is the puppy on the ceiling with you? Is your puppy also strange?
He's also in Australia. This is the one always
Puppy,
making all the noise.
puppy.
No, it's okay.
Aww, you're a puppy.
Hold on a second. Theo, hold on, chill, dude.
Know what basset hounds do? I mean, make noise.
He's all squirmy now. Okay, okay, I'll let you go. Ready?
Because he's
Go,
a puppy.
go.
Fly, be free.
Fly, be free. Release inside the house.
Yeah, we're free inside the house.
I thought about getting a dog, but I don't really have a lifestyle to make that work. The
Yeah.
dog, it would be fair to the dog.
That is an important consideration that a lot of people do not take into account.
Though I tell you, if I ended up having to work from home because of COVID, if that had happened when that first thing hit, I was going to get a dog.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, assuming the landlord approved. You never know. The landlord could be a dick sometimes, but makes the rules for stuff like that, so it's okay.
This
Guys,
model,
I forgot the water.
I mean, you can't see this model right now, but on my stream, you'd be able to see it. It's a knight and a full armor. He's got a sword and shield. It's a Reaper mini.
Do I need
I
to maximize
think
it?
I think this is the one that you get in the Learn to Paint series when they talk about painting metallics.
Mhm.
But this is the Gen 3 bones material, and there's so much detail. There's so much detail on this model. It's crazy. There's little like fur underneath sticking out from underneath his shoulder pads,
That's cool.
and all these little rivets on the breastplate stuff. Some really
Yes, Russ, I
I
did forget my
hadn't
water.
I hadn't looked closely at it, and now that I'm doing my half-ass zenithal on it, I'm noticing all these little details.
So here's a question for you, Kathy. I'm painting these sort of rock walls, and one's like a looks like it's a built rock wall, and the other one looks like someone magically created it out of the dirt, and there's all these rocks and stuff. I'm thinking about either painting different rocks different colors because they're all gray right now, or maybe just washing them different colors to break it up. What do you think?
I did different colors on a base recently. It was cobblestones.
Yeah, I do. My cobblestones, I do three different colors. I can actually show you that in a second.
Yeah,
This
that's
here.
that's what I do. Is three different colors, and then I'll dry brush sort of a neutral color really lightly over it, which kind of unifies those three colors and adds a bit of a highlight.
So no, there's only two on. Well, there's three all three on this one. So there's the thing. I do the what look like the set stones for sidewalk in one color, and then two different colors on the cobblestone, and I make it look like there's some sort of pattern that's only you've seen part of.
Oh, see, I do mine so that they look all random, like as if there's no pattern and they're randomly dispersed.
I did that, but it looked really odd to me.
That's why I do that light dry brush of like maybe a tan or a light gray or something over the top of it, so it kind of
Brings it all together.
tones, yeah, it tones down the brightness, the
So
saturation of the colors, and then it kind of unifies them overall.
this is the one rock wall I'm working on. The one looks like it was like magically created and all that. Chunks of rock and all that.
Yeah,
So
that would be cool to do some, some tan rocks and then some maybe that are a cooler gray and then some that are a warmer.
and that's the other one. Looks like it's just sort of built.
Yeah.
I think the built one might be a better one just to do the sort of just wash them different colors. While the one that looks like it was created might be the one I would if you will, go nuts on. I need a brown wash.
I kind of did that with this texture roller base on the Reaper Mini I was working on this last week. The base itself was the cashmere pattern of texture roller, and so there's this huge amount of detail, of incredible detail in the texture on the base. And I didn't want that detail to seem so busy that it distracts from the model. So I
Mhm.
tried to keep it all in sort of muted colors. And then I did that dry brush of tan over the top of it, which muted all those colors further.
I'm probably gonna paint at least the one up in different colors. I might just wash the other one. We'll see how it looks. It's one of those ones where I don't necessarily want to take a lot of time, but I say I don't want to take a lot of time, then I end up painting the daily bugle, which takes forever.
Forever.
It took a long time.
Name that movie.
What?
Forever.
No idea.
Forever. I watched it this week.
The Muppets?
No. Sandlot.
Let's say if it's not, I've only seen one of those movies, so
I have
you
seen
get it.
Sandlot exactly one time.
Oh,
So yeah, there's no way that I would remember anything from it.
Well, that was the wrong tone of gold. Well, that's a good job. High five.
The wrong tone of gold.
Yeah, I did the wrong gold for his touch-ups on his sword handle.
It's fine. You can go over it again with something else.
Yep. I can knock him over too. That helps, right?
You know, I find it helps even more when you drop them on your palette right in the big pile of paint you just mixed up.
Luckily, my palette's off where I handle the models.
Better yet, just drop it right into some paint water.
That's even further off because, actually, that's the best thing about the giant GW one is it won't fit in the paint water bottle. It just go right in and not fit. The handle will fit in, it get a little wet, but but it won't actually go all the way in, which is good because you don't want your model going all the way in there. That'd be no bueno. It's yours. I quote that from that movie as well, and I also have not seen the movie, so just a good quote. I have seen that scene so that I understood it because
What are we talking about?
You're killing me, Smalls.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna dry brush that. That's gonna need to dry. That's
As much as so many people have said that quote, I didn't realize that it was from The Sandlot until last week, I think, when Gonzo mentioned that. Somehow I just didn't connect the dots.
I mean, if you haven't seen the movie exactly once, why should you remember
Yes.
all from it?
Having heard the quote so many times, though, you'd think I would have maybe realized or had somebody tell me at least one time where that came from when they quoted it. But nope.
But no.
No. This guy totally needs a Hello Kitty on the back of his shield.
That sounds good.
So in need of a Hello Kitty.
Oh, did I really do that? You bragging dum dum. Oh, and touch ups breed more touch ups. Hooray!
That's how you do it. Sometimes you just have to go back and forth, back and forth.
Oh, actually, I need to use a brush with a better tip. Trying to get away with that without using it, but that's not working.
Harm grew up on that movie. Wow.
When did that movie come out?
I don't know.
Uncle
The 90s? Mr. Googles?
1993. You know what else happened in 1993?
No.
I graduated high school.
Hooray.
I was a slight bit old for that movie. And the perfect age to be like, I ain't watching it.
Ain't watching it. All right, so he's got some tubing on here. I don't want to leave the tubing black. What color should I paint the tubing?
What model are we looking at?
The Necron model. You know, he's got like these little tubes and stuff in here, and he's got this tube
Hold
on
it
the
more
back.
in camera.
Sorry. See the
Do you
tubing?
want more color in it, or do you want just something neutral fade in the background?
I kind of want a little bit different color on it.
So you don't want too many colors, otherwise that just creates busyness.
Correct.
So you could go metal, and so you definitely don't want black. Is there a reason why you don't want black?
Just add a little bit different definition to it.
You could go like red or something.
If it's the solid tube, I would go red. If it's the ribbed one, I would go something that will highlight or shade well, because then you get the good definition between it.
Yeah, it's the solid part right here and this one down here, and a few that's inside of a chest.
I would do either a dark red or a dark green, like a dark angel green, Caliban green.
I'm with John on this, like the red cable or the green cable.
Because that's actually what I do with mine a lot of times.
Don't cut the red cable.
Red wire.
Yeah, whatever.
This is my United States of whatever. Sorry. Bright aluminium, huh? That's mostly for us. Boom.
when I was painting that kill team terrain, I had the there were so many crazy details on that terrain. Anybody who's seen it and got a good close look at it knows all the weird little details, all the gauges, all the cables, all the little gas tanks and everything.
It's
That
I'm like, if I ever have to paint that, it could take me forever.
so I decided
For
every single time there were wires. There was like 4 wires. So I would do the first wire red, the second wire blue, the third wire green, and the fourth wire yellow.
That's exactly what I was thinking. But I'd switch it up. I wouldn't do them in the same order. I'd switch it up because
They were
that
the
adds a
same
little bit.
order every single time on every piece of terrain I painted on every part.
Wow. I'm gonna switch it up, but that's sort of my thing.
I just I just I just thought like if there's one person who notices that I have done this, I'll be impressed.
No one looks that closely.
No, they don't.
The
Because I
secret of
also I also put a Hello Kitty on every single piece of terrain, and I don't believe anybody noticed. I hid it in a different place on every piece of terrain. This was for the Adepticon Kill Team tournament uh, last year, and no one said anything. So,
And if they would have said anything, you would have been like, and?
well, you know,
yeah, I was searching along.
what would they have said? They pretty much would have said, "Wow, that's really cool, Kathy." What else would they have said?
Better be. That's really cool, Kathy. We're gonna whoop him.
Oh,
Yeah. Sorry.
get a hammer to the balls. What they get?
Whoa! Shit escalated real quick.
No kidding.
Just say it. You don't just say Hello Kitty is the worst thing I've ever seen on Kill Team terrain. You just don't say that to Kathy.
Better not.
Especially when she volunteers her time to paint that stuff for your enjoyment.
Wow. I'm just impressed at the way it sort of
Came out, it was like, hey, Hello Kitty, I will fucking crush your balls with a hammer.
like
I didn't say it like that.
we do
That's how it
kind of have
came
to
out.
work on the escalation of things a little bit. There are levels between a whooping and the hammer to the balls. There's a couple steps between that.
There are.
Yeah.
Well, if you came to Adepticon, maybe you could show me.
Oh,
Shots
I
fired.
have to travel. I hate traveling.
But it's Adepticon.
Someday, if we ever get to go out again.
Someday when we get to go back out again.
That's how I'll be talking.
I still want to get out somewhere and get like a proper diner breakfast. I just want a proper diner breakfast.
Yep. And here we are, back to food again.
I just want to go to Denny's.
No, I said proper.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Proper. I mean, I'll go to Denny's. Don't get me wrong.
Just come over to my house. I'll make you breakfast.
I mean, that works.
Breakfast at Kathy's.
Just
I do like these moons over Miami, but
bring the ice cream sandwiches.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're Blue Bunny too, so you know they're good quality.
I will make a stack of pancakes. I will make ham and bacon.
Oh,
and sausage.
Full Chinese buffet. Yeah, there's. I'm not gonna lie, that's on the list too. Because I will go to a restaurant, eat socially distant from people here or there. I am not going to a buffet. I choose life.
I'll have to see where this went on and glue the skull back on. Poor little skull. Where were you? Oh.
Oh.
I see where the skull was. I have the means to fix it. Finian says, I think buffets have all been closed, haven't they?
Yeah, pretty much.
They're starting to reopen them up around here.
Well, there are all sorts of stupid stuff around there, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
That's true. So, I'm happy to wait.
Yep, me
I'm
too.
I'm I would like to not have to wait, but at the same time, I'm gonna wait. Thanks. Thanks all the same.
Yeah. Right now, literally, aside from the couple times, well, the one time technically, my cousin took me out. I was helping him move and stuff. Uh, I only eat Saturdays with my same crew at the local barbecue joint. And one of the guys, not Brushhead Dave, actually, his work had a COVID thing, and was not working with the person who they think had it, but he decided to be super extra considerate and just pick his food up to go anyways. He's being super extra considerate.
Super extra extra.
I mean, there's levels of considerate, and I appreciate someone being extra.
Russ says I've forgotten what it's like to eat out. Been housebound for a few years now, so the best I can get is takeaway delivered to my home. Takeaway delivered to your home is a pretty good thing. I haven't had anything from a restaurant in
Benny, I did not want to go to Golden Corral, not since they made that
since
like
March. Golden Corral. Oh man, I remember Golden Corral way back when I was doing run fairs in Texas.
yeah. See, Golden Corral was fine, but then they started getting enough people in there that you don't get space to eat. I get a space like this to eat. I gotta have my arms here. I'm like a T-Rex eating,
That
and
doesn't
I
sound like
can't.
fun.
I don't want to. I'm not gonna eat in a place like that. I need a
Oh
little bit.
man, I like to spread out.
I need to chill a little bit. It used to be like that. That used to be the Friday night. We'd go to the bunker, play some games. We
Oh
would date Golden
yeah.
Corral, and we'd eat, and we'd be there forever.
We go to the bunker and then we do happy hour at Miller's Ale House and then we go back to the bunker. Oh, good time. That was a different
Yeah,
bunker in a different state though.
it was.
Since I've still never met John in person, it's funny that we know a bunch of the same people who
It,
worked at Games
it,
Workshop.
I was.
Actually, John, did you ever come to the Games Workshop Battle Bunker in Chicago area?
No, it wasn't open for the one time I went to Chicago to help with James Day.
Okay.
And I was an alternate for the one staff tournament they held there.
Because there were a bunch of people that I met from other places around the country that came in during Games Day.
Yeah, I only went to the first Chicago Games Day.
All of us know, we do know the amazing Alan Blount. We
I mean,
do. Love
yeah,
Alan.
Alan is great.
He's a fabulous person.
Just don't call him chef. He doesn't appreciate that much.
I would not, I don't, why? Why are we calling him, why are we even thinking about calling him chef?
Well, one of our mutual employee friends did that at a Christmas party, a Games Workshop Christmas party.
Look,
He
it's
was up
stupid.
there doing karaoke, and he just goes, "Woo, chef!" And the look of death. He didn't miss a beat in the song, but boy, the look of death.
What song was he doing?
Uh, Something for his wife. I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
I have to know. No, let me just send him a message. Remember that one time? I'm
It was at
joking. I'm joking.
Memorial Park at Camden Yards. They had a club level thing there where we had it. I remember where it was. I'm crazy like that. But I don't remember what song. It was probably something James Ingram or something like that. He's got a good deep singing voice.
I want to karaoke with people. I suck at it.
Uh,
I don't have a
all
good
I,
singing voice, but I absolutely will make a fool of myself.
well, they in that same Christmas party, they were calling tables to go up and sing, and they called my table first. Me, my boss John, who was John Reichling, and Paul and Not Brushhead Dave, and then Jimmy. Jimmy was off in the bathroom. So when they call our table, John and I get up, like, fuck yeah, I guess we got to. Dave just walks away because Dave doesn't care. Zero fucks. He's like, I'm not singing. And
I'm
won't play.
deserting you. Right on.
Paul actually goes, I gotta go to the bathroom, and runs off like a bitch. Jimmy is like walking back kind of slowly. Then he hears what song we have to cover,
Uh-huh.
and he comes running back to be in part of that. And it was the Divinals.
Touch
And then they were
yourself.
like, yep. And he got into it. We broke it after about a verse.
Oh,
Luckily.
God.
But he was so into it, it was slightly creepy.
Oh, that's funny. No, that's a fun song. I could see that being really funny.
I wasn't going to leave my boss hanging like that, so. Yes, Banyan, media section.
Oh, is it already?
Is it really?
Holy crap.
I already cleaned up and got my pictures for Hobby Street.
Wow. Someone in chat had to remind us of that today. So
I mean, I knew it was getting close.
I had no idea.
No, neither did I.
I was
All right.
lost.
Media, because I was
Priming stuff, dry brushing stuff.
It was story time.
story
Story
time.
time, yeah.
Excellent. Media section. Boom. Yeah, we're 3 minutes late.
You dropped the bass for the media section.
Yeah,
huh?
he did. That was impressive.
Oh, man. Okay. Phone.
Media section, media section, media section. Can we say like segment instead?
Media segment.
You know, like tapeworm segment.
That's weird. That made it creepy. Thanks.
I don't know. No. I'm all about
Media
making
time?
it. I'm all about making it creepy, John.
All right, I have 5 tonight. What do y'all have? I know Kathy said she had 17.
1, 2, 2.
I mean, some of these,
Rocket City trash pandas again.
I mean, some of these I can kind of glance over because they're quick and easy, but there's some of them just I gotta vent on.
Vent on, huh?
Yep.
Venting.
Venting.
Is that healthy?
I
vent
mean,
the podcast, is that a good idea? I feel like ranting and all. I don't think that's a good idea.
yeah, because John never does that.
Not at all.
Ever.
Ever.
Never.
Never, ever, ever. Well, let's go with something that
Work on this.
that I saw and I really liked, and it came out in '91, and starred a James Bond. Disney flick called The Rocketeer.
Wouldn't necessarily say starred, as he is the antagonist in the movie.
Okay, he is. He is the antagonist.
Don't think you can get me on the Rocketeer, motherfucker. I'm in. That is of the trilogy, the 3 superhero movies that came out around that time. The Dark Horses, if you want a pun intended there, as well as some more Dark Horse comics. The Phantom, the Shadow, and the Rocketeer. The Rocketeer is clearly my favorite.
Oh yeah,
With the Shadow being a close second, and the Phantom being a distant third, but still kind of fun.
Yeah, oh, you would love it. 1938, Hollywood glam. Yeah, it's got
the same director who did Captain America: The First Avenger. It's actually why they chose him.
Yeah, I mean it's still a good movie. I mean, special effects, of course, showing its age because it was done in '91. We got that, but it's still good, still solid. Characters are still good. Everything was just really solid about it. I was really... It held up still, which is amazing.
Fun. It's got all those right moments in it.
Yeah,
Do you think it held up better because it was kind of a period piece that took place
Yes.
in another time?
correct.
Yeah, the period pieces tend to hold up a little bit better than some of the modern ones, but it's just fun. The leads have great chemistry together.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer Connelly is radiant in it. I'll be honest.
Yep.
And why Timothy Dalton is excellent as the antagonist.
That's funny. That's what I was gonna guess he meant by James Bond as the
Yep.
villain. That
Mm-hmm.
was exactly who I was
And
thinking.
Paul Sorvino plays a mob boss, but as there are Nazis involved, he ends up teaming up with the FBI because he may be a criminal, but he's an American criminal.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
mean, it's cheesy, but it is all the right level of cheese for that. It's sort of back
Patriotic
to the
criminal.
serial ages. It is great. They keep trying to work a sequel. There's a couple different stories out there for a sequel. Uh, One being like the Rocketeer's gone missing, and a little girl has to, find out where he went. I'm hoping they get something. There's play in that story still.
I mean, it's still good. That's the thing. I mean, I was watching it and I was still enjoying it, and it was still
It's
solid.
good, solid cast. Like, a lot of those guys, like I don't know that guy's name, but I've seen him in a ton of things.
Yeah. But I mean, it was still good. I mean, I give it like one space herpy at the most, but it's just like it's really good. You would like it, Kathy. I mean,
It's on Disney
1938.
Plus.
It's on
Yes.
Disney Plus. It's Disney.
Ah, I can watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
We went on a big Disney kick this week, and I was like, oh, The Rocketeer. Let's watch that because you haven't seen it, and it's actually pretty solid.
Oh, I got it. Were you gonna open up Disney Plus to watch for Rocketeer? Shaking my head. I don't give a shit. It is literally one of in my list of favorite movies to watch.
Yeah, it's just good,
It's one of
solid
those ones
fun.
where it's like I had to own. It's like gotta own that.
Gotta own it.
One of those, if you will, second tier Disney movies that I love more than many people. The Black Hole, stuff like that.
Which
Go crazy like that.
the Black Hole was on there, and that's going to be on my watch list next week.
I still have to watch that.
Oh my god. You better be careful, Gonzo. That's hollowed ground you be treading upon.
I know we mentioned that.
Captain Mizzy, no one's judging you because you don't own older movies.
Yeah, I don't know how you judge it because you don't older movies.
No.
Of
And
the
then there's
people,
Russ who says, I have the VHS tape of Rocketeer.
yeah, I appreciate that. That is just one of those movies that when I had my own income, I'm like, it's on my list. There's a handful of them that I'm like, that is one I would probably, well, it's on Disney Plus, so I wouldn't right now, but if ever Disney Plus went away for some reason, I would consider getting that on Blu-ray too, to get, if it was a restored copy, to get the best possible picture. It's like Buckaroo Banzai, Alexander Flash Gordon, Titan AE, The Rocketeer. There's a bunch there that are just quote unquote second tier
Oh my
movies that
god, I
just
just
love.
realized I watched 4 things.
Oh my
Oh my
god!
god!
Not just 3.
So
I
you better stop something, Kathy.
Dragon Eye.
Granted,
I'm
I
wait with you.
saw Rocketeer in the theater.
Same here.
I also saw Rocketeer in the theater, but yeah.
So I mean, like I says, one at the maximum to half a space herpy, because it's just good, solid fun. I mean, it's still good. Even special effects, you're just like, oh yeah, big green screen. Don't care.
It didn't aim higher than it needed to. It's like we know exactly where we want to be. Got it.
Yep. So it did pretty good. Since Kathy has 17, Kathy, go ahead with yours.
So what made me think of this was, oddly enough, the Buckaroo Banzai, because I have Buckaroo Banzai on Blu-ray, and I also have Dune, the 1980s version, the David Lynch version on Blu-ray. And I like to say that when it showed up at the house a few years ago, I watched it right then. And then I watched it again the very next day. So Monday evening saw me revisiting Dune.
Which I watched today.
And yeah, yes, you watched it today, and I watched it on Monday. And goddamn, if I still don't just love that show.
I enjoy the crap out of it. It does kind of feel like it's a movie version of the Cliff Notes of the novel.
Yeah.
They're throwing stuff at you fast and furious. Don't you look away. It may seem at points like you're watching Star Trek One where it's going a little slow, and don't you fucking look away because
Every single thing matters.
yep.
Every single
And
little detail.
from a cinematic standpoint, they do a lot of things that people would call sins, like so many internal voiceovers and so much explaining rather than showing. But they have so much to unpack. They don't have a fucking choice. Like there's stuff they gloss over that I know about, and I haven't read the book, that
Yeah.
it's like crazy.
I mean, it
Characters
helps. It
like
helps that I've read the books a number of times, but I
and,
can understand where somebody would get lost.
and that cast is stacked.
Mm-hmm.
I would honestly say the worst performance in it from anyone who has any given a screen time is unfortunately Sting.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
he's everyone else. I mean,
Everybody loves Sting, and yeah, he's good to look at and
and
everything, but no, you're
it's not like
right.
he's bad.
Yeah.
He's mediocre in this. It was obviously early acting. I don't think he's really sure what he's trying to portray other than arrogant fucker, and he did that well.
Oh yeah.
Um, but I mean, the rest of it, everyone's cast well, from what I understand, and does a solid job with what they're given. Um, I enjoy the crap out of it. It is a sort of fast and furious movie, if you will excuse the pun there. Of just it just keeps going and going, boom, 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 boom,
And
and
fun fact that I learned about it was the so I always referred to when the guild spacers were, going into the emperor's throne room, and with the big with the
I know what fact you're going to drop. I
you,
think.
you know they're all wearing these like plastic garbage bags, as it looks like. But
Nope.
I
They're
learned
body
that
bags.
those are actually body bags, and they were actually
Used
used body
body.
bags.
And he didn't tell them while filming because David Lynch is a son of a bitch like that.
Like,
It's
here's my artistic vision. They're going to be in used body bags. I'm not going to tell them, but there's a symbology there that I will get.
And
yeah,
only I will.
And that's all that matters. And
yeah.
then later we'll reveal it.
He's got this vision for the movie, and damned if it's not very stylistic. It's high tech yet not, which kind of fits the world. Um, there's a lot of cool concepts in there, and having seen the trailer since for the new one, I do think I do think I like the old Shield thing a little better because it kind of fits what they're going for there. But we'll see how the new one looks on the screen.
I will reserve judgment for things like that. But there were things where I think, uh, oh, what's his name? How do you say his Villeneuve? Anyways, the director of the new one was
Oh yeah.
taking, because he's like, I can't improve
Well,
on that.
apparently the first one just really well follows the plot of the book. It follows all the main points through the book. So how are you going to improve on it? The only way to improve on that movie is to make it two movies. It
Yeah.
almost has to be two movies just to
Yeah,
get
if
everything.
I'm sure if David Lynch had his way back then they didn't want to make a movie that was so long, but now after Lord of the Rings, like 3 movies of forever, you know,
Yes.
now, studios are more accepting of having a longer movie
Yeah.
and having it split into 2 different movies.
I
So,
feel like there's a clear split point you could make in that movie. A couple clear split points you could make. It could be a trilogy, but you'd have to make action scenes to make it action enough for the average sci-fi goer. That's the thing about Dune is there are action scenes, but they're not put in there to pace the movie. They're put in there because that is a story point that needs to happen at that moment.
Yep.
yeah.
And I respect that. And apparently David Lynch likes the extended version even less than he likes the version they put out.
That's what I heard too, because it was the production company that put it together,
They're
so
like, we
that
don't know
in
what
the
the fuck is going on.
yeah, in the hopes that people watching it on cable TV would be able to make more sense of it than people in the theater did. That's the only reason that there is a longer version. It is not a director's cut. There is no director's cut.
Well, technically, director's cut's the one that was released because that's the only one out there, and they didn't let him make anything else. So, um,
Yeah.
I don't find that I find any of it confusing, not having read the books. I mean, there are points that come up like, why aren't there any computers? That's not really important to me because obviously there are computers. It's just not a big deal. There's a lot of things. It's like, why is this like this? It doesn't actually bother me. It's sci-fi. It is what it is, and I'm willing to take it for what it is.
Yeah.
That's the thing. People are so used to this, everything being super high tech. Sometimes you get there and go, just take it for what it is, and just
It doesn't
deal
all
with it.
have to be Star Trek.
No,
That's what I was thinking. The same thing.
they're not going to techno. Watch you. They are going to techno babble you, but it's going to be really odd words, and they're just be like, "This is this thing. This is what it does. You do not need to know how. Nope, don't need to know how.
This is the Rakalaki.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not
Why,
interested in the physics of it. If you want to research that, fine.
why is his name a killing word? Because that's awesome.
Because he's Muad'Dib.
Oh,
It's
I'm
a
going to give it.
prophecy.
I'm going to give it 1 just because it is a little. I don't want to say incoherent because at no point you ever really lost what's going on. It is just throwing so much shit at you so quick. You cannot take a breath. You've got to be ready for more information. I really think the 3rd and 4th time you watch this movie, it's a lot better because you're like, I know what's going on. I can take a breath here.
I was just gonna about say the same thing. Like, you need to watch it a few times to really. At first, you watch it, you get the sense of the sweeping vistas, the scenery, the costumes, and all of the eye candy, all the stuff to look at that's there because it's amazing. It's like art,
It's
and
truly art. It's
and
truly art.
then you get to pay attention to the dialogue the second time around.
I suggest
you
putting
know.
subtitles on because it helps a lot with those weird words. Like, what did he? Oh, used a weird word. Okay, that's good enough.
Yeah.
That's a word. That's an in-universe word. Cool. Go with it.
I could agree with the one space herpy. I think, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little dated in areas, but mostly,
It's solid.
And the way they told the story, I think, worked with the slightly older Paul Atreides, since that was a discussion from the trailer thing. I think it worked with the age that Kyle McLaughlin looked in that. So
it's yeah, but he's in the books. He's a teenager,
yeah,
and so I'm looking forward to seeing
yeah,
this new one and seeing how they do it and what's different and what's similar. You know.
absolutely. There you go. That was a 2-for-1. That was one of mine and one of hers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to combine 2 into 1. I watched Treasure Planet and Muppet Treasure Island, which
Okay.
are basically the same story.
But I really need to see one of them.
Both the same story. Treasure Planet is a sci-fi version of Treasure Island,
I want to see.
and it's still pretty solid. It's still got good animation, still relevant, still pretty decent. Nothing bad about it. Like I says, like a 1 space harpy. And then we got Muppet Treasure Island. The Muppets are still damn good. Even if it says the Muppets aren't relevant or anything, or the Muppets are bad, they just, oh, I miss the good
Treasure
Muppet
Island.
movies.
That's the one with the king prawn, right?
Yes. And Tim Curry. And Tim Curry as
Not wrong. It's Tim Curry. I mean,
yeah. It's all solid. I mean, the songs. There's only one song that I kind of don't like in the Muppet, and that's Cabin Fever one. But everything else is just really good. And they play all the good stupid lines and play off camera and like, you can't die. This is a kids movie, type thing. And it's just a great solid. But I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed both of them. So they're both, 1 space herpes a piece just because of some dating and everything, but nothing bad to speak of. So that was going to be a quick 2-for-1 type thing. Kathy?
I saw a movie called The Skeleton Twins,
Okay.
starring, I forget, Kristen Wiig and Bill Hader and is it Luke Wilson? Owen Wilson. It was one of the Wilsons. The one with the dark hair.
Owen's got the fucked up nose.
Yeah, it was him. No, They both do, only in
No.
different ways.
No. No. Owen Wilson's nose is fucked up. Luke Wilson's nose might be odd. Owen Wilson's nose is fucked up.
So it's the dark-haired one, anyways. But it was it starts out a little dark. It
Yes.
makes you cry. It makes you laugh. It makes you cry. It makes you laugh. It makes you cry. It makes you laugh. Uh, it has some good music in it. And it deals with a lot with depression and suicidal thoughts and suicide, and uh, it just it was good. It was really good. I will give it 0 space herpes. I watched the whole thing. It was serious, but at the same time, there were those moments of lightheartedness. So, yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was really well done.
It seems like one I would skip until after the bullshit is done.
Yeah.
Be any more depressing or dark. Or, I don't know. Shit.
But this is one of those ones where they're able to balance the dark stuff and the dark emotions with lighter emotions. So it worked.
Okay.
Because depressing movies are so not my thing usually. So yeah.
Especially not right now. Jesus, I can't handle any depressing movies. Don't even show me a copy of Old Yeller.
Oh God, no.
I'll take you out and tie you to the tree, Jesus. So my number 2 and only other one, probably don't have time to talk anything else. So is the trailer for The Mandalorian season 2.
Mm-hmm.
I will describe it in 2 words: fuck and yes.
Yay! Because I just finished the first season.
Yeah.
I finally just finished the first season, so. Trashorama! Was it you who was just saying that the other day? Old Yeller, Comedy of the Year.
Yes, compared to 2020, it is a comedy of the year, but I'm just, no. But yeah, Mandalorian season 2 looks so good. Just the right amount of humor and everything in it. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Considering I'm watching Star Wars in order, I will not be up to Mandalorian season 2 by the time it comes out, but I'll still just fucking watch it.
Well, yeah, otherwise you won't get to see it until 2 years from now.
It won't take that long. I'm in the shittiest part of this of everything. It'll go quicker as soon as I get through it. And I'm getting to the good part of it. They had some episodes that weren't horrific. They were merely... So, I have a theory about that real quick. I think the reason everything seems so goddamn stupid in the Clone Wars is because they don't know how to fight wars. They haven't fought wars in forever. So every time I'm like, that is retarded, it's just the only way they know how. That's my headcanon. Makes me feel a little better about it. Please continue.
Russ has started rewatching Haven. I think I watched the first season of that.
I watched.
You can see some episodes of it.
I think I watched it all. Can't remember. It's been a while.
Couldn't have been that good. Can't remember.
I know I watched a couple of seasons. I don't remember if I watched the entire series. My possibly last one is we watched Hamilton. 2 hours and 40 minutes of a Broadway play about Alexander Hamilton.
So wait, instead of making an actual movie, they just filmed the Broadway play?
Yes.
What an idle idea. I mean, who would have thought that is a better way than spending lots of money on bullshit CGI and making people fucking hate life? All right.
You know, that's why I prefer the Broadway version of Sweeney Todd to the movie version.
I haven't seen that version.
Yeah, with Angela Lansbury and I forget the guy's first name. Hearn.
When you make a movie that
George
makes me...
Hearn, I think, but yeah, it was on stage and there were sets and
when you make a movie that makes me hate Dame Judi Dench, you've done fucked up.
Yeah, that's pretty
Done
difficult, but
fucked up.
they managed.
They did it. Achievement unlocked.
But
Good
definitely
job.
look up Sweeney Todd, the Broadway show, because the songs are so good in it, and it's classic.
I do have
We
to mention
watch it at my
Hamilton.
friends every Halloween.
So many people like were talking so high about it. I'm like, maybe I need to see Hamilton, but I would need to get a little more free time than I tend to have right now.
Yeah, it's 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Which is longer than
It,
Dune somehow.
and it's okay. I'm going to say this first: the music, the play, everything is good and solid. Alexander Hamilton does not make a good story, in my opinion, for the most part. Um, I just couldn't get into the story. I love the music. I loved the way it was performed. I love the scene, the set. All of that was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. Just to me, okay, it's Alexander Hamilton, yeah, and I just was kind of like, okay. I actually fell asleep once, but I can also account that to kind of the medicine too. But I don't want to rate it bad, and I don't want to rate it, in any negative, because to me, the performances were great. The singing, all that stuff was great. The stage performance was great. It's just Alexander Hamilton is not a story I wanted to see them do. Although I was going to give it a fair shot, but I'm like, Alexander Hamilton, okay, yeah, cool. I hope the guy that did this does some more stuff, because I like to see it, because this is the first Broadway musical that used a lot of rap and music like that. So it was interesting and good. It's just, like I said, it's Alexander Hamilton. Okay.
Fair enough.
So I'm not going to even give it a rating, because, like I said, performances, awesome. Costumes,
Because it's
awesome.
not for you, what you're saying.
Yeah. But Alexander Hamilton, the story of him. So I'm not going to give it any rating whatsoever, because it would be tarnishing the performance that they did. Because they did damn good.
All right.
Type
That's
thing.
fair. There's plenty of things out there I think are very, very good, but not my thing.
Correct. And I think that's what it is. And I love Broadway plays. Like, one of my favorite is Wicked. I fucking love Wicked Broadway plays. Saw it in person. I thought it was amazing. I wish I could see it again. But it was a good story and stuff and everything. So, thumbs up. So, both type thing. But I mean, it just definitely was not my thing. But the performers, 0 if you want to do that type thing. So, no problem. John, you want to lead us out?
The only thing was going to talk about was the Smart Every Day YouTube channel. Check it out. The science. He's great. He made a supersonic a cannon that fires baseballs at supersonic speed. It's awesome.
Does he film in slow-mo?
Yes.
Nice.
Like he has a lot of videos. He is great. I support him on Patreon. He is also the only one of the only two where I supported on Patreon, and they sent me an email or a message to thank me for my patronage immediately. And that actually means a lot. I mean, I know a lot of times it's hard to keep up with all that stuff. I mean, we don't even necessarily do that. We do appreciate all our patrons, but it is an extra level. He's a very interesting and complicated man, but he is very uplifting and heartwarming and intelligent. Needs lots of science. You cannot go wrong with science. So there you go.
This just in the second James Bond, Sean Connery, still hot in a towel.
There you go.
One space harpy. Because, oh my god, the girl-on-girl fight was so bad.
I mean, think about when the movie came out. Fight choreography has come a long way since then. in the long run. They can't all be Diana Rigg.
Girl fight choreography has come a long way.
Much
Which-
longer, let's say.
So yeah.
If you haven't seen it, we did talk about it. The Black Panther news
Yep.
that came out, and they are going to let his sister take over the mantle, like she did in the comic book.
Is the right choice. I mean, recasting is always an option, but I feel like this is the right choice given everything that's there, where this movie is and everything.
Correct. I think that is because I was reading that article about it, and they offered him a multi-movie deal, and he turned it down, probably because he figured this is probably something that was going to happen, or whatever.
Something that could happen.
Could happen, something that could happen. And then they made the thing to make her do that. And that's going to be, I think that's going to be, I probably wouldn't want to be her in the fact of when she starts to put on the suit or, whenever it starts happening. Because that's probably going to be like a huge emotional scene for the cast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Type thing. But, yeah, it was...
They're going to kill us on screen, just like every time I see that Stan Lee tribute at the beginning of Captain Marvel.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yep.
Every time. Right in the gut. Like, oh.
Yeah, because I'm wondering how they're gonna. I'm wondering how they're gonna do it and what they're gonna do for the story wise, and how they're gonna introduce her as Black Panther. But I think that was the best and perfect choice to do. Is let her take on the mantle of Black Panther, and do that, which I'm super excited to see what they do. So, other than that, guys, please take care of yourself. Please watch out for everybody. If you see someone that needs help, please help them out. Stay healthy, stay safe, wear a mask.
Right, goddamn it.
For More Than Dice, I'm Gonzo.
I'm John.
I'm Kathy.
Good night, everyone.
The 1 year anniversary of Series 1 race. Never forget.
Naruto.
Yep.
Horrible.
More shocking.
It only seems like it was a couple months ago.
Really shitty, horrible ones.
Yeah.
What? It's not 2021 yet?
Ah,